to sign up. And you get paid on the referrals. If you tell somebody about it, they tell somebody about it, and that person trades their Federal Reserve notes in for real money, gold, then you make a commission. It's a real unique marketing plan. There's no risk. It's just you can turn a $50 a month savings account into gold. Whether it goes up, goes down, depends on whether you elect David or not.
Yeah. Well, Clay, under my administration, I'm going to instigate immediately the old squatters' rights. They will take effect. All property will then be owned entirely by the current occupants. Some may balk at this idea, but in order to save our economy as well as your personal rights, these effects must take place immediately. There's been so many people out of their homes that they've worked years to pay for now, and that's a terrible reality we're all going to have to face. Otherwise, our system of ethics and justice will never be spoken of again. If these specific plans are not followed, there will be no one left to restore the only free system of consideration on this planet. Now, there are also some situational problems that have concerned our military leaders, as well as presidents for some 70 years or more. And I'm completely informed of this. This is the sole reason for the untimely death of John F. Kennedy, as well as others carried out over the years since. Phil Schneider and William Cooper, a friend of Mr. Douglas's, are just two men who have been assassinated for their whistleblowing. Mr. Kennedy knew full well and was about to tell all the citizens of this country concerning the questions of just what was really going on, with not just only the alien saucer question, but the intended takeover by our ruling elite in just a few short years. This information has been kept secret from all citizens until now. It has been guarded by our top military generals at the Pentagon as well as our National Security Agency. This problem involves the presence of a race of aliens known as the Reticuli, or Greys, now cohabiting this very planet with our own race. They are, however, in their final phase of existence. In other words, they are a dying race due to become extinct in the next few hundred years. They have tried through their own experimentation to continue with this material existence, but no solution has yet been found. What they are now guilty of is using our human populace for nothing more than cattle in the field. This exact same treatment has been done to them at one time in their own history. Their own failure to learn this existence has finally occurred once again.
In effect, you are saying that what David Icke has been talking about the reptilians among us, is actually a fact.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
They are here as well.
Somebody's asking here on the chat room, are you talking about a moratorium on foreclosures? I mean, we gave with the money that we gave the banksters, $2 trillion. That $2 trillion would have paid off every mortgage in America.
Exactly. Well, I also don't like the way a home can be taken from the owners if they cannot pay their taxes. What the heck is that? That's another.
We own all the property. We own all the property, and we're just renting it to you. You're nothing more.
Right.
You're nothing more than a serf on the farm. You're one of the laborers on the farm. The farm is global, and that's what they mean by global government. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's exactly accurate. No, under my administration, with squatters' rights intact, everyone will then own the home they're living in, and we'll begin all over again. That's why I stated that we're going to reprint the money and redistribute it on an even basis. Everyone gets the same amount. I mean, we've got to restart our system, Clay. We've got to do something drastic to get this economy back on its feet. And this plan that I have will do that if we can all bond together and pull together for the same cause. Now, I've recently been doing my investigation on these Greys that I was talking about, and they're now using our own children. They kidnap them. 150 100,000 have disappeared in the last 10 years, and they kidnap them and they take them downstairs at Dulce, New Mexico, to the underground base, and they drain the pituitary glands of their brain, and they use a small amount of substance to mix with a group of chemicals that they intake as food, and the human ingredient added is similar to a cocaine effect for this race. So they drain our children now because they can get more of it out of them, and they're now addicted to our own chemical secretion. So you may ask, what do we do? They've been doing this to us for like 50 years or more. But now, what are we going to do? Because they've also enlisted the elite of the planet, and they're quickly cutting off all of our supplies.
Let me just share with you on the chat room. One of my guests says, I know that 2% of the folks own and control 40% of everything. Actually, it's more like 60 or 80%. And he says the next 8% control another 20%. It seems like someone just wanted the world to be in debt. Well, that's exactly it. That's why they do the wars. That's why,
right.
And I have been publishing that and telling people about that for a lot of years. The banksters want to start the wars. They fund both sides. They're the ones that started Al Qaeda. They're the ones that funded Saddam Hussein. There's only about 3 countries that aren't in this whole world banking system, and I think that would be Korea, Iraq, and Iran, and Venezuela.
Wow.
And they're also controlling the drugs. The CIA, the Army right now, our soldiers, Pat Tillman was killed because he was really upset about that. They were guarding the opium poppy fields in Afghanistan.
Yep.
And they found a few $1 trillion worth of minerals up in those mountains. And then that heroin the opium is being refined into heroin. It's being shipped back into this country.
Right.
And your son could be, your niece could be strung out on heroin and then end up put in jail or going into the medical system to recover from that.
Yep.
And going to jail. I mean, we've got 1 in every 31 Americans is in prison on parole or on probation right now. And Rand said the government has no control over honest people, so they got to make criminals out of us. Isn't that what's happening to America? How would you treat our prison systems? Would you abolish the laws against victimless crimes?
I would have to judge every one of those situational cases myself. I don't want to say yes to that open-ended question, but many of these what's considered jailable crimes nowadays will be done away with, because what we're going to instigate is these work farms where people go and produce the crops that we eat every day if they've done some type of infraction. Now, if you've taken a life and you're guilty of that, you'll be put to sleep. Period. I don't care if you walk into a grocery store with a little pea shooter and aim at the clerk and take $100 out of the drawer, you'll be put to sleep, because that's not right. You don't need to do that. And besides that, we know that all these crimes escalate as time goes on. So anybody that's going to start with those little crimes is going to eventually take the opportunity to commit a much bigger one. So that's something that our law enforcement is going to have to get a handle on, is actually doing their job.
In my True Face of FEMA film, Colonel John Brinkerhoff was lecturing law enforcement. He says, in case of a single outbreak of smallpox in a major metropolitan area, an earthquake on the New Madrid fault line. Interesting that 8 years ago he mentioned the New Madrid fault line. And we'll need 400,000 well-armed, well-trained, organized, disciplined troops to control the American people, because some of them just won't follow orders. Now,
well, none of them are going to follow orders soon, I'll tell you.
Now, you know what I should. What we need are simply Americans. You know, when 9/11 happened, the firefighters went in. The janitor rescued people that were injured from the explosions in the basement. It was we didn't need any troops there. There wasn't nobody looting. We were taking care of Americans. When northern up north, when they flooded, when all the floods came in through all the farmlands, you know, we didn't need troops in there. Americans helped Americans.
Yep.
And you know, Hurricane Andrew, I went through Hurricane Andrew. We took food. The bikers took food and supplies down to Homestead. The National Guard gave a generator to the local biker bar, and so we protected people whose homes had been blown away. We hung the looters from the flagpoles, but FEMA was good. They came down and picked up the bodies. They did. That's all that FEMA did. We don't need that. We can take care of each other. We had something in World War II called civil defense. We had Liberty Gardens in there, and we fought a world war that we didn't need to fight.
Yep.
Americans helping Americans. I think that's what if that's what your campaign is about, then I would back it 100%.
Right. Well, one interesting thing I noted last night, I still have a television set in my house here, and I was listening to the news, CNN reporting on the conditions over in the Middle East in Egypt, and they showed camera shots of the mob that's in the town square now. It's humongous. It's a gigantic mob of people, and the commentators were saying how they kept alluding to the fact that there may be trouble and there may be violence, and they have to bring in the military to stop the protesters. Well, the whole protesting crowd is saying a word which translated means peace. The entire mob is saying peace, 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 peace amongst themselves. Now this is an example to me of what our own people are going to do. We're all going to get together, every color, every race, every person in the country, and we're all going to say the word peace, and we're going to stand at the White House, and we're going to stand wherever there is to stand, and we're all going to stand together. For the first time, this country is going to recognize what freedom is and what unity is. And you can't have freedom without unity. You have to have unity in your thought, word, and deed before you're going to experience any freedoms. But it was a good example last night to see this on the news, that what was going on over in Egypt and how they're deciding as a people to oust their leader Mubarak.
And well, they're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing in Egypt that they've been doing here for years. They're putting, it's the pro-Mubarak people just came in and attacked the freedom movement, and you got the same thing happening here. They're trying to call Tea Parties racist. They're trying to divide and conquer. They're Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. I think to me it's all about freedom. It's all about liberty. It's all about what our Bill of Rights is all about.
That's right. That's exactly right. To be able to go home and close your door and do what you want. Eat what you want. It's what you want. It's what the individual wants in their life. Now, we're all different places in our own evolution. What you want and what I want to do at home may be different. But we all believe in standing shoulder to shoulder and proclaiming our right to freedom. And that's what we're going to have to do. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk and a lot of people have come forward and said this and said that, but I have recently been in communication with a small group of representatives from what could be known as the Galactic Federation of Planets. In fact, 18 years ago, two of them came down and took a surf lesson from us here on Venice Beach, and I didn't know who it was until after they'd left. But since then, I've spoken with them a few times, and they now want us to know that we're not alone in this universe any longer. They have assured me that the time is right for our own thinking and united attitudes to prevail in this seemingly hopeless situation that the entire planet faces. And they have agreed to furnish our fighting forces with the firepower required to exterminate this race of grays once and for all from our planet if I take this next election. And we will not be fighting the advanced weaponry with our good old muskets anymore. We'll be fighting them with their own level of technology upon our own soil. And our military will be recalled on a worldwide scale and then stationed along our southern border states. And if elected, I will do my best to handle these escalating problems, but this is something that must be determined only by a fair vote from the working residents of this country. This is just the first of many pieces of information that are now becoming available this next year, but it's designed to inform as well as educate the general populace as to the outcome of this next election before it happens. Many further questions will be asked and answered as time permits, but I wanted to let the audience know that I do have you and your loved ones' best interests in mind. The dissolution of our Republican and Democratic parties is now up for consideration, and I back this plan entirely. This is now desperately needed in order to provide a fair and equal representation within our own government by the very people involved in the everyday problem solving.
Well, that's what a republic is supposed to be. Now, Grandma, who was just on my show 3 days ago, has access, has a trust that's worth a few trillion. She will use it for the restoration of the republic. And instead of by doing this, I think you've got the right idea. I think you've got the concept down pretty pat. And
well, thank you.
If we restore the states the way it's supposed to be,
right,
then that is a republic. I mean, come on. You know, one of my favorite things to do, David, was to catch a politician in a park talking about our great democracy, and I would walk up, cameras rolling, people around. Excuse me, sir, could you tell me when what Congress changed our republic into a democracy? and the strangest thing happens. The cameras are turned off, the politician disappears, and you got a bunch of people standing around going, what just happened?
Yep.
They can't deal with that. Democracy is the new code word. What they do is change language, folks. They change. That's not a hunting rifle. That's an assault weapon. It'll shoot more than once. That's an assault weapon. And your great democracy is a one world communist controlled by the elite, by the banksters type of government.
Well, this next election, Clay, will make these facts absolutely clear for all those who still do not see things in this crystal clear light, like you and I do. But I'm asking everyone now to start considering, just consider giving me your vote in this 2012 presidential election. I promise I will do everything in my powers to restore the freedoms that we've all come to know instead of the direction the modern day affairs have taken us so quickly to date. It's just come down to this, you know. It's not a complicated question, and it's not an impossible thing that I'm proposing that we all do together. It's just, do we want to do this? Do we really want to? I think all of our lives we've had our freedoms handed to us since the time we were born, and many people here, not yourself of course, but many other people haven't ever had to do anything for the privileges that they are experiencing every day compared to people like in Africa or Asia or Russia.
One of the things, it's almost an advantage that Africa has over us. You know, we can't grow our own food. We don't know how. That's why I'm really pushing the whole Liberty Village idea, because if you send 10 families over to you put up some teepees, make a campground out of it, and believe me, the teepees are a lot more than a pup tent now. The farmers and the ranchers that have been doing this for 100 years would be able to teach the average city-bred American like me how to clean a deer, how to milk a goat, how to slaughter a hog, how to hunt a deer, and how to grow their own non-genetically modified food. You know, the rats won't eat that genetically modified corn with the pest control in it, with the poison in it. They're poisoning your food from growth. So you put the seed in the ground, when it grows, it's generating its own rat poison. Rats won't eat the genetically modified corn. So we've got to learn how to be more self-sufficient. We gotta get back and quit being dependent on this whole energy banking scheme.
Right. Well, we ought to face it right now. Most of us are dependent, completely dependent, utterly dependent on the grocery stores and the gas stations. If we didn't have grocery stores and we didn't have gas stations, I don't know how many of us would survive for very long. Let's say 90 days maybe. Because if you can't eat, you can't drink, you're really going to be out of luck. And if you can't go anywhere to find it because you'll get gas in your car, you're going to be in worse shape. So the truth is going to be coming out sooner than the next election. So people are going to have some time to sit
I think
and twiddle their thumbs.
The Liberty Village ought to be simply a part of your plan, because we don't need, if you got a farm and ranch, we restore the farms and ranches to where 30% of the Americans are now going back to farms and ranches like it was in the 30s. And then, you know, if all of the, I think that you have the ability and the potential here to capture the imagination of the American people and the loyalty of the American people. I think you got a real good shot at it, David.
Well,
and now let's see. One of the things I've been telling you folks is that you know, this KB Gold. If you go to my website, click on any of the links, they'll take you to my website with KB Gold. It'll take you to you can see the films on it. It's a way to break the hold of the banksters. Quit using their money, start using gold. Dr. Ish, are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Would you like to tell our people, and David, who's planning on running for president, David Kaas here, would you tell us what the advantages of this KB Gold system is?
It's my pleasure, David. I enjoy your presentation. Basically, we encourage people to take 5 to 20% of their paper money and convert it to gold and silver, because the currency changing with the prediction in the future. So if something happens to the currency, silver and gold will never go down to zero, and they will have better protected that way. And as Clay mentioned, you can open an account for free, and then you can fund it using your own paper money, or you can use the referral system we have. And if you build it, you should be able to make up to $900 US dollars referral per transaction when something exchanged their paper money with silver and gold.
Well, it all sounds very interesting to me, but I realized that as soon as the powers that be wish to pull the market in any direction they want, all the money all the dollars and cents that I've accumulated could all be worth nothing more than toilet paper, because it's the food and water that's going to keep me alive. So at the moment, it sounds like a good idea. It sounds like the way to keep your boat afloat. But I believe in the Freedom Villages more than I do the dollar bill or the gold or the silver, because what's coming to us all is a very big storm, and it's going to clean the planet psychologically as well as physically. And I respect your opinion, and I respect your wisdom, but your knowledge and your expertise and your availability of your gold. But like I say, I'm saying this once again to every man, woman, and child that's listening out there. This entire lifetime we're living is nothing more than a test of our personal, spiritual abilities to make some sense of what we're doing here. And as far as I'm concerned, it could all be over today for myself. It could all be over today for you or Clayton. So we all need to start to take an appraisal of just what we're doing and what we've done and what direction we're actually heading. So it sounds interesting, but I don't have a cent to spend.
All right.
A cent to my name.
Doc, listen, I appreciate that. You know, what we're saying, folks, you got a 401k, the 401ks crashed, their value went down, gold won't go down, and that is an international currency. They keep talking about starting an international currency. They want you to take that chip in your hand. They want it to be electronic banking. Don't take the chip. You don't have to do it. And the gold is available here and in Switzerland. You can keep it there or you can bring it in here. Okay, Doc, thank you again for being with me, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, I'll be in touch. And folks, you need to go to my website, click on the gold thing, click on my links, and we can you can read about Liberty Villages and understand that it's adaptable to wherever you are. I mean, we have to unite the whole country.
That's right. We've got to get it together, and we got to do it in the next 365 days. I expect, and it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to mean a lot of whining and dining for us. It's going to mean some good hard work, and I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and start today. But all these things, I've been waiting all my life to make it happen like this, Clayton. I mean, I really have. I've been pissed off and angry, and I've experienced, the scams. And I had a wife once that promised me she wouldn't have any children, and then she popped 2 out and divorced me. So I've been paying child support for 20 years. But it's all come to a head now, and I'm real glad that it has, because I didn't like living like I'm living right now. I don't like doing what I have to do every day right now, and I'd like to wake up in the morning and be happy, and go outside and say thank you for everything. So
well, we're going to try to do that. That's what the Free American's about. That's what Liberty Village is about, and be glad to work with you. Done it before. Happy to do it again.
Exactly. Well,
and you want to say one more thing about your water here, and then we got to go.
Sure. Well, I have this new book out, and I have 3 videos on the YouTube under A New Cure for Cancer. Just look them up and watch them. And the book is available from PublishAmerica.com, or you can now find it on Amazon. It's called Quantum Physics, A New Cure and More. It's on Clayton Douglas's website today, and I would strongly recommend all people watch the videos and try to buy the book if you can afford it. But thank you so much, Clayton, for the program today. I was really overjoyed to speak to the general public.
Well, we're going to do it again tonight, and be putting your platform together, put these thoughts in. You can always go back to the show to refer to it, and we gotta get it in writing. Matter of fact, we can probably get a transcript from Blog TV on this. We need to put your platform together. We need to start organizing, and start doing the paperwork.
That's right. Well, thank you, Clayton, and all the audience out there for listening in. And this is going to be the biggest year yet. I'm sure of that.
Call recording has been completed.
Okay. Folks, go to freeamerican.com, make a donation today. And this isn't the only thing we're working on. We're trying to get Donna Taylor's son out of where he's been installed in Phoenix. I'm talking to attorneys every day. We're trying to organize this campaign. We're trying to save you and get these Liberty Villages started. If you got a friend that's got a farm or a ranch, they need people to, I've got a little alternative to hiring a bunch of illegal aliens to come pick your crops. We can make this work, okay? All right. David, thank you.
Thank you, Clayton.
God bless you all.